In the shadowed quiet of a frontier town, where suspicion hung thick like the desert dust, a woman made a choice that would forever alter the course of her life and those around her. She found a starving Indian child, fragile and fading beneath the relentless sun, and without hesitation, she hid him in the cramped shelter of her shed. This act of compassion was a defiant whisper against the roar of prejudice that sought to keep worlds apart. As night fell and the town settled into uneasy silence, a haunting melody arose outside her door, a song carried by warriors whose voices blended sorrow and strength beneath the shimmering stars. Their midnight chant was not a threat, but a sacred vigil, a promise wrapped in sound that echoed ancient bonds of protection and respect. In a land torn by conflict and misunderstanding, this moment became a bridge between cultures, fragile yet unbreakable. The woman's heart beat with equal parts fear and fierce resolve. She knew the danger she courted. The walls around her town were built on distrust and rigid laws that forbade such acts of kindness. Yet, her spirit would not be swayed. In hiding the child, she embraced a profound truth: that mercy can light the darkest nights, and that courage often walks quietly in the shadows. This story unfolds in a world where the wild meets the weary, where every choice carries weight beyond the self. It is a tale of bravery and humanity, of voices raised in song and hearts united in silent defiance. As we step into this chapter of the Old West, we uncover the power of one woman's compassion to challenge an entire frontier. Join us as we reveal the haunting beauty and fierce courage behind the woman who hid a starving Indian child, and the warriors whose midnight song guarded her secret and sparked a legacy of hope. The sun had long dipped behind the rugged hills when the woman first heard the faint, desperate cry. Following the sound through the whispering grass and weathered fences, she found a small Indian child, gaunt and trembling with hunger, hidden away in the shadows of the town's edge. Her heart clenched at the sight. This fragile life, barely clinging to hope, was a silent plea that pierced the hard shell of a frontier steeped in suspicion and fear. Without hesitation, she lifted the child in her arms, feeling the delicate weight of his frailty against her. The decision to hide him in her shed was not born from recklessness, but from a fierce, quiet defiance against the harsh prejudices that governed the land. She understood the risks, whispers of punishment, the threat of discovery, but her compassion was a fire that refused to be extinguished by fear or hatred. As night fell, the woman moved carefully through the shadows, ensuring the child's safety and warmth amidst the chill. Every creak of the old shed, every whisper of the wind, heightened the tension, yet she remained steady. In that fragile space, a bond was forged, a promise of protection, of care in a world too often cruel to those who needed it most. The child's eyes, weary but trusting, reflected a flicker of something once lost: hope. The town, steeped in its own hardened ways, slept unaware of the secret sanctuary nestled among its streets. But beyond the quiet homes and flickering lanterns, a different kind of vigilance stirred, a watchful presence that spoke not of threat, but of sacred duty. As the woman settled the child, a distant chorus began to rise, soft and solemn, carried on the midnight breeze. This haunting song, sung by warriors cloaked in the night, was a shield woven from ancient traditions and fierce loyalty. It was a promise sung in silence to protect the innocent, to honor the bonds that transcend fear. In the darkest hour, their voices became a beacon of hope, surrounding the shed and guarding a fragile act of mercy that could change the course of many lives. The melody of the warriors echoed through the night, intertwining sorrow and strength, weaving a protective veil around the woman and the child she had sworn to keep safe. Their presence was a silent oath, a stand against the harsh judgments and brutal laws that often left the vulnerable exposed. Though the town's eyes might judge and the law might threaten, here, in this sacred moment, an unspoken alliance was forged. Inside the shed, the woman's resolve deepened. She whispered soothing words to the child, her voice gentle and steady, a stark contrast to the turmoil outside. The child's fragile fingers clung to hers, finding solace in her touch. Together, they became a quiet rebellion, a testament to the power of compassion in a world ruled by suspicion. The warriors' vigil was more than protection. It was a call to the community's conscience. Their song carried the weight of history and honor, reminding all who listened of ancient promises and the sacred duty to defend those in need. It was a challenge to the town's prejudices, a powerful statement that mercy and bravery often walk hand in hand, even in the harshest lands. Word of the woman's secret act and the warrior's midnight song began to ripple quietly through the frontier. Stories spread like whispers on the wind, stirring hearts and opening eyes to a different truth, one where courage was measured not by guns or grudges, but by the willingness to stand for what is right. The narrative of fear and division faced a formidable challenge. In the heart of the Old West, beneath the vast sky dotted with stars, a new chapter was being written, one where kindness became a shield, where silence spoke louder than violence, and where the smallest acts of bravery ignited a movement toward hope and healing. The following days brought a mixture of tension and cautious hope to the frontier town. Though the warrior's silent vigil had protected the woman and the starving child through the darkest hours, the risk of discovery loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon. Neighbors whispered behind closed doors, torn between fear of reprisal and awe at the bravery displayed in that small shed. The woman, however, remained resolute. Every act she took to nourish and shield the child was a quiet rebellion against the harsh prejudices that sought to divide them. She understood that in protecting this one fragile life, she was standing for something far greater, a belief in the shared humanity that bound even the most unlikely of allies. Her courage was a beacon, challenging the community to reconsider long-held fears and to glimpse the possibility of unity amidst division. The child, once frail and nearly lost to hunger, began to regain strength beneath the woman's care. His eyes, once hollow with despair, now held a flicker of life, a reflection of the kindness that nurtured him. This transformation was not lost on the warriors who kept their watch. Their midnight songs shifted from solemn hymns of protection to quiet celebrations of resilience. They understood that their role extended beyond guardianship. It was about honoring a sacred trust, a promise to shield innocence, and to uphold the dignity of those cast aside. Their presence was a reminder that even in a land shaped by conflict and survival, there was room for compassion and sacred duty. As the community slowly became aware of the child's presence, reactions were varied and raw. Some met the news with anger, their fears and prejudices flaring in defense of the status quo. Others, however, found their hearts stirred by the undeniable truth of the woman's kindness and the warrior's solemn commitment. Quiet conversations began to take place in homes and taverns, as neighbors wrestled with their conscience and the reality that the old divisions were not as unbreakable as they had believed. The tension between tradition and transformation was palpable, and the town found itself at a crossroads, with the future hanging in delicate balance. The woman, ever vigilant, continued her work in secrecy and hope. She taught the child to trust again, to find safety in human connection, and to believe in a future beyond hunger and fear. Her resolve was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of a single act of mercy to ripple outward and affect many lives. The warriors, steadfast as ever, provided an unyielding shield of silence, their songs a steady heartbeat that echoed through the night, signaling both protection and a call to justice. In this fragile dance between danger and hope, the story of a woman's courage and a child's survival began to weave itself into the fabric of the Old West. It was a story of defiance against cruelty, of ancient bonds renewed, and of the quiet but unstoppable power of compassion to challenge and change the world. Months passed, and with each day, the child's health and spirit flourished under the woman's careful watch, embodying the triumph of hope in a harsh and unforgiving land. The once secret shelter became a sanctuary, not only for the child, but for the ideals of kindness and protection that the woman and the warriors stood for. The warriors' midnight songs evolved into symbols of community strength and sacred guardianship, reverberating through the town's conscience and reminding all who heard that some bonds transcend fear, race, and history. Their watchfulness was a silent vow that no act of cruelty would go unchallenged, and that those who lived with honor would stand firm in defense of the vulnerable. The woman's bravery began to inspire others in the community, sowing seeds of change that gradually took root. Neighbors who had once turned a blind eye or whispered harsh judgment started to question the divisions that had long defined their lives. Acts of kindness slowly grew. A shared meal here, a helping hand there, as the town began to reshape itself around new values of empathy and inclusion. The story of the hidden child and the silent warriors became a whispered legend, spreading hope and courage beyond the town's dusty streets. Despite the growing acceptance, the path was not without obstacles. Fear and suspicion still lingered, and old grudges occasionally resurfaced to remind the community of the difficult road ahead. The woman and the warriors knew that lasting change required vigilance and patience, and that true transformation is not swift, but measured in small, persistent acts of love and justice. They remained steadfast, their quiet courage a beacon to all who sought a better future. In time, the schoolhouse, once a symbol of exclusion, opened its doors wider, welcoming children of all backgrounds to learn and grow together. The woman became a teacher and a mentor, passing on lessons not only of reading and writing, but of compassion and resilience. The child, once starving and hidden away, blossomed into a symbol of possibility, a living testament to the power of care and protection in the face of adversity. This chapter of the Old West stands as a powerful reminder that even in the most divided and unforgiving places, the courage to protect and nurture the vulnerable can transform communities and rewrite history. It is a story of silence met with song, fear met with bravery, and hatred met with an unyielding spirit of love. As the seasons changed and the town slowly began to heal, the woman's act of sheltering the starving child became a symbol of hope that echoed far beyond the walls of her shed. The child's growth was not only physical but spiritual, a testament to the healing power of compassion and sanctuary. The once fragile and silent figure blossomed under the watchful eyes of the warriors and the gentle care of the woman, who refused to let fear dictate her actions. Her resilience began to inspire others who had suffered in silence, showing them that even the most broken could find refuge and strength in community. The warriors' midnight songs, once a solemn vigil of protection, grew into celebrations of resilience and unity. Their presence served as a constant reminder to the townspeople that true strength lay in standing together to protect the vulnerable, and that respect for one another was the foundation of any lasting peace. The deep connection between the warriors and the woman grew into a powerful alliance that challenged the old prejudices entrenched in the town's heart, slowly breaking down barriers that had seemed impenetrable. Despite the growing support, the journey toward acceptance was fraught with challenges. Fear and mistrust still lingered in some corners, fueled by years of division and hardship. Whispers of dissent and attempts to undermine the woman's efforts tested the fragile peace that had begun to form. Yet, each challenge was met with unwavering determination by those who believed in change. The woman's courage and the warrior's silent strength became pillars upon which the community rebuilt itself, proving that perseverance in the face of adversity could transform even the hardest of hearts. The town, once divided and isolated, began to open its doors to new possibilities. The child's story spread like wildfire, igniting conversations in homes, at markets, and around campfires. It became clear that this was more than a single act of kindness. It was a catalyst for a broader awakening. The people started to envision a future where compassion would guide their actions, where differences were celebrated rather than feared, and where every child had a chance to thrive. In this transformation, the woman, the child, and the warriors taught a timeless lesson: that love and courage, even when quietly expressed, hold the power to reshape communities and change the course of history. Their story became a beacon, illuminating a path forward through darkness, showing that no act of mercy is ever wasted. Years passed, and the once fragile sanctuary grew into a thriving community bonded by the lessons learned from that one woman's brave decision to protect a starving child. The schoolhouse, once a place of division and exclusion, became a center of learning and unity, where children of all backgrounds gathered to discover knowledge and friendship. The child, now a young leader, inspired others with her resilience and compassion, embodying the possibility of a future built on acceptance and mutual respect. The warriors who had stood guard in silence evolved into respected elders and protectors of the new community's values. Their midnight songs became traditions celebrated with reverence, symbols of a unity that had been forged through shared struggle and hope. They taught younger generations the importance of standing up for what is right, of protecting the vulnerable, and of honoring the bonds that connect all people regardless of their past. Though challenges and prejudices did not disappear overnight, the community faced them together, strengthened by the legacy of the woman and the warriors. Their story, passed down through generations, became a guiding light, a reminder that justice and kindness are not mere ideals, but the foundation of lasting peace. It showed that the courage to act, even in small ways, can ripple out to transform lives and shape the future. The town, nestled beneath the wide, endless skies of the Old West, stood as a testament to the enduring power of empathy and bravery. It was a place where silence was broken by song, where fear was replaced by courage, and where the vulnerable found strength in community. Their journey was a reminder that even in the harshest of lands, hope and humanity can flourish. As twilight settled over the frontier, the story of the woman who hid a starving child and the warriors who sang outside her door lived on as a powerful legacy. It called to all who heard it to stand for compassion, to protect the innocent, and to believe in the transformative power of love and courage. As the years unfolded, the community transformed, shaped by the courage and compassion of those who dared to challenge long-standing divisions. The woman's act of sheltering the starving child became a cornerstone of a new legacy, a legacy built on the principles of empathy, respect, and resilience. Families who had once lived separated by fear and prejudice now gathered in shared spaces, their bonds strengthened by the stories of protection and unity that had become woven into the town's very fabric. The child, no longer fragile, blossomed into a symbol of hope and renewal, inspiring others to look beyond appearances and embrace the power of kindness. The warriors who had once stood silently as guardians now took on the roles of mentors and community leaders. Their midnight songs evolved into celebrations of shared heritage and mutual protection, resonating through the town as reminders of the sacred duties they upheld. Through their example, the next generation learned the values of courage and compassion, not as abstract ideals, but as lived realities essential for survival and growth in the rugged frontier. Their voices, once heard only in the stillness of night, now echoed in the joyful gatherings of a community reborn. Despite this progress, the shadows of old fears and resistance occasionally resurfaced, reminding the town that the journey toward true acceptance was ongoing. Yet, the strength cultivated in the hearts of its people proved resilient. The lessons imparted by the woman, the child, and the warriors fortified the community against these setbacks. Together, they faced these challenges not with anger, but with patience and resolve, reaffirming their commitment to a future defined by inclusion and justice. The schoolhouse, once a place of secrecy and danger, became a vibrant center of learning and connection, welcoming children from diverse backgrounds to grow and thrive together. It stood as a testament to the transformative power of education and the unyielding spirit of those who dared to nurture it. The stories told within its walls carried the echoes of past struggles and the promise of a brighter, more compassionate future. Under the vast, starry skies of the Old West, the town's journey was a powerful reminder that even in the harshest environments, humanity's greatest strength lies in its ability to care for one another. Their story became a beacon, shining light on the path toward healing, unity, and hope. The legacy of the woman who hid a starving child in her shed and the warriors who sang outside her door reached far beyond the town's borders, inspiring neighboring settlements and distant travelers. The tale was told and retold around campfires, carried on the wind as a symbol of bravery and mercy in a land often marked by hardship and division. It became a call to action, encouraging others to stand for the vulnerable and to protect the bonds of community that transcend fear. The child, now a young leader, embraced her role with grace and determination, using her experiences to advocate for those without voice or power. Her journey, from a hidden, starving child to a beacon of hope, touched countless lives, showing that transformation is possible even in the most unlikely circumstances. Through her, the community learned that every individual has the power to inspire change, and that true leadership is born of compassion. The warriors, revered for their silent strength and unwavering dedication, continued to guide the community with wisdom and honor. Their midnight songs became cherished traditions, reminding all of the sacred duties they embraced to protect the innocent and uphold justice. Their story, intertwined with that of the woman and the child, stood as a testament to the enduring power of unity and courage. Though challenges and prejudices occasionally resurfaced, the town faced them together, stronger and more united than ever. The journey from fear to acceptance had forged an unbreakable spirit, one that would carry the community through generations. Their story was a living legacy, a shining example that even in the wildest frontiers, kindness and bravery can tame the heart. As the sun set over the endless horizon, the town stood as a monument to what can be achieved when courage meets compassion. The woman, the child, and the warriors had shown that even in the darkest nights, the human spirit can shine bright, lighting the way for all who follow. Time flowed on, weaving the lives of the woman, the child, and the warriors into the very soul of the town. Their story had transcended mere events, becoming the foundation of a new identity rooted in courage, empathy, and unwavering hope. The child, once starving and hidden away, grew into a symbol of resilience and the transformative power of kindness. Her presence reminded everyone that no matter how dire the circumstances, a single act of compassion could ripple outward to heal a community and reshape its future. The town, once fractured by fear and division, now pulsed with the energy of unity and shared purpose, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. The warriors, whose midnight songs had once guarded a fragile secret, were now honored as the town's guardians of justice and peace. Their silent strength and sacred duty inspired new generations to uphold the values of protection and respect. Their stories became lessons passed down through time, teaching that true power lies not in domination, but in standing resolutely for those who cannot defend themselves. The warriors' presence wove a thread of honor through the community's fabric, binding together people of all backgrounds in a shared commitment to justice. Challenges and prejudices, though diminished, still flickered in the shadows, a reminder that progress is never guaranteed. But the community faced these obstacles with fortified hearts and minds, drawing strength from the legacy of the woman and the warriors who had paved the way. Their journey taught that healing is a continual process, one that demands patience, courage, and a steadfast belief in the possibility of change. The town's resilience became a beacon for others, a shining example that even the most entrenched divisions could be overcome. The story of the woman who hid a starving child and the warriors who protected them became a legend told with reverence, a narrative that inspired countless others to act with bravery and compassion. It was a testament to the fact that, in the face of cruelty and indifference, love and courage remain the most formidable forces. Their legacy echoed far beyond the dusty streets of the frontier, reaching into hearts ready to embrace change and justice. Under the vast expanse of the western sky, the town stood transformed, a living monument to the power of kindness, the strength of unity, and the unyielding spirit of those who dare to stand for what is right, no matter the cost. As twilight settled over the rugged landscape, the enduring story of the woman, the child, and the silent warriors became a guiding light for all who sought justice in a divided world. Their journey was more than a chapter in the Old West. It was a universal reminder that courage often comes wrapped in quiet deeds, that true leadership is found in empathy, and that communities thrive when they choose compassion over fear. The child, now a beacon of hope and resilience, continued to inspire not only her town, but generations beyond. Her life illustrated the profound truth that every individual, regardless of origin or circumstance, holds the power to ignite change. The woman's bravery and the warrior's steadfast protection had created a ripple effect, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest acts of mercy can change the course of history. The town, once marred by division, had forged a new path defined by understanding and acceptance. Its people learned that peace is not simply the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice and the nurturing of every soul. The legacy of this story was a call to action, encouraging us to listen, to protect, and to stand for those who cannot stand alone. Though the challenges of the frontier remained, the spirit of the community was unbreakable. Their shared history became a foundation on which future generations could build a better, more inclusive world. The warriors' songs, once a solemn vigil, had evolved into an anthem of hope and unity that resonated through time. Beneath the vast and endless western sky, the tale of courage, compassion, and unyielding spirit lives on, an eternal flame that lights the way for all who dare to stand up and make a difference in a world too often divided. In the vast and unforgiving landscape of the Old West, we've witnessed a story where compassion triumphed over cruelty, and courage rose silently in the face of danger. This tale reminds us that true bravery isn't always loud. It often lives in quiet acts of kindness, in the protection of the vulnerable, and in standing firm when the world turns its back. It challenges us to reflect on our own courage, asking what we are willing to do when confronted with injustice. Throughout this journey, the woman who hid a starving child and the warriors who sang outside her door taught us that change begins with a single act, an act of love, defiance, and hope. Their story is a testament to the power of unity and the unbreakable bonds forged when people choose empathy over fear. It calls on us all to see beyond differences and to stand together for what is right, no matter the cost. As you carry this story with you, consider the walls you might help tear down, the voices you might uplift, and the compassion you might show. Every small gesture can ripple outward, creating waves of change that transform communities and heal divisions. The legacy of the Old West silent warriors is a powerful reminder that even the quietest song can resonate across generations. If this story moved you, I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your voice matters and can inspire others. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to be part of a community that values stories of hope, resilience, and transformation. Your engagement helps keep these powerful tales alive and spreads their lessons far and wide. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Old West, where courage whispered, kindness protected, and hope endured. May you carry these lessons forward, lighting the way for others in your own life and community.